The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Did you know gas goes bad in as little as 30 days? Bad gas can cause rough starts, poor performance, or no starts at all. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Whether it's your car, truck, boat, lawnmower, leaf blower, weed trimmer, ATV, motorcycle, or anything else with an engine, when you store, start with Stable.
A new season is here and an exciting new career is waiting. KTH Parts Industries in St. Paris is now hiring second shift production associates and offers an outstanding new pay rate of $20.24 an hour. This is an excellent opportunity that offers an attractive benefit package, medical, dental, and 401k. KTH offers the advantage of being a short drive from home, just minutes away from Bellefontaine, Troy, Piqua, and Urbana. The position will fill quickly, so please apply now at kth.net. KTH is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. Give them a Steel. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the Steel Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $30 on the BG56 CE handheld blower. Visit your local Steel dealer or go to steelusa.com/gift guide. Real Steel. Find yours. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs in cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. Give them a Steel. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the Steel Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $20 on the BGA57 battery-powered blower. Visit your local Steel dealer or go to steelusa.com/gift guide. Real Steel. Find yours. Now $179.99 was $199.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs in cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
There are 4 games left to go with this one.
All right, everybody, happy Thursday. Welcome in. It is the Kenner and Kev Show right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. I'm Justin Kenner. He's Kev Nash. Mr. Kev Nash, welcome.
What up, though?
Let's see. What are we missing? Cameras. Cameras are off today. But we are live on the Justin Kenner Show Facebook page. We are live on ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. We're live on 1410 Wing AM, and we are streaming live on the iHeartRadio app, Odyssey, wingam.com. I mean, there is like 1 million ways to take in the show. I think there's more ways to take in the show than people that listen to the show, to be honest with you.
I don't believe that for 1 second, because you told me we are the #1 sports talk show in the city.
Numbers don't lie.
There it is.
Numbers don't lie. Just saying, you know.
You ready for tonight?
I was told we weren't competition, and you're right. We're not.
Are you ready for tonight?
What is tonight?
It is our holiday party.
I haven't gone to the holiday party in a while.
Really?
I don't know.
You weren't there last year?
No, I don't know the last holiday party I went to. I'm not the most festive individual.
You don't say. You don't say.
Well, it's a night where, hey, you take a bunch of people that don't like one another, you force them to sit in a room together and pretend to get along because of fa la 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 la.
Watch it. They're listening.
Are they? Are they, though?
So at some of your other jobs, did you guys have holiday parties?
No, I've worked here my whole life.
Oh, okay.
Well, my whole life, my whole adult life.
Yeah.
But no, and joking around. So what's like, obviously coming out of COVID, we got our building full again, and we have
Right.
a bunch of new people. So there's a much different vibe. So yeah, looking forward to the holiday party tonight. I was just joking, but yeah, like when I first started, I mean, we would always have our holiday party and stuff, and you're not sure like how drunk you can get at these types of things. And you know, we'll see what ends up happening later on tonight. I might have a drink or two. I have 3,
4.
if it's on them.
Exactly. I think I'm gonna go ahead and Uber to the holiday party. That's how weird I'm trying to get.
You're gonna Uber from here. Ubering from here ain't that far, but you know, from where you live, maybe as far as that's concerned. But nonetheless, I am curious, like what people do for their holiday parties. Like we're at least having a holiday party, not complaining about. I mean, you'll get together, have some dinner, have some drinks, and you know, whatever. But you know, some people it's like a huge deal, these little holiday parties and stuff. The Christmas bonuses can be pretty impressive at times. So we'll see. Not us. I'm talking about like other people. Like So like when I'm sitting,
we don't get a bonus for being number one.
This is the time of year. My God, we're not really making any friends today in this building. If anyone's pissed off when we get to this party tonight, it's because Kinner and Kev just talk blank the entire time, mostly Kinner. But no, like when my friends, we all sit around with my friends and they start talking about their Christmas bonus. They're like, Kinner, what'd you get? I'm like, I don't like to brag. You know, you just, you know, I don't like to show you guys up. So you just
3 drink tickets and
3. We're getting spoiled this year. All right, seriously, we love our bosses. We love our jobs. Relax, people. By people, we mean the people that might be offended by the start to the show.
Oh man!
Let's
But
see.
on a serious, go for it.
Oh, no. Timmy Hockett. What up, Timmy? Timmy says, #1 radio show in Dayton. Awesome. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Number one sports talk show.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want, I don't need Woody getting a little upset with me. Nancy and Woody. I don't need them mad at me. I love Nancy and Woody. So shout out to Nancy and Woody. Yeah.
No, but I want to know in the chat, man. I want to know some creepy holiday party stories in the chat.
Yeah, like I heard like how wild like radio Christmas parties used to be back in the day. Like we're boring now.
Yes. Shouts out to HR.
Bosses are worried like if Kinner starts having some drinks, like, oh, he's gonna say something inappropriate. He's gonna say, our HR. I hope our HR boss isn't there tonight. I'm always nervous around. I love her to death, but like when I'm around her, I'm like, okay, am I allowed to make a joke now, or do I gotta wait till after work? If I run into you on the weekend and I make a joke, am I going to get written up then? Like, I'm really confused as to how this works. But, I could just do what my wife says, and you could just try not being inappropriate, like, all the time instead of just, you don't have to try to be inappropriate. How about you just don't be inappropriate?
That works, too.
She lives a boring life. You want to talk sports?
Go for it.
What sports we got on deck for today? No. So I wanted to bring this up because I've had a lot of people kind of poke fun at the fact that, like, let's talk. I want to open up with the Browns. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but Joe Flacco just signed the deal with the Cleveland Browns, a 1-year deal. Now, a 1-year deal sounds a little weird because there's only 4 games left in the regular season or 3 or whatever it is. And, hopefully some more games in the playoffs. And then after that, I don't even know what the details are on the contract. It says a 1-year deal, but will Joe Flacco be with the Browns a year from now? We have some audio that we'll get to here in just a moment. But I've seen the Bengals fans, the Steelers fans, I've seen just non-Browns fans throw this in the Browns' face. He's the best quarterback that they've had all season. He's this, he's that, the other. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not gonna bite on it. But I don't think he's better than Deshaun Watson, but I do think he is playing the position at such a high level right now, which is shocking just coming off the couch. He's playing the position different than what Deshaun was. But the thing that people keep forgetting is like they were 4-1 with Deshaun this season. All right. Deshaun was actually getting better each and every game. And what's unfortunate, the best game that he has played as a Cleveland Brown was the last game that he played. And then he suffered the season-ending injury after that. What I would have loved to have seen we've seen glimpses of greatness from Deshaun Watson. We've seen, I shouldn't say greatness, but we've seen glimpses of that old quarterback from the Houston days. But we haven't seen it consistently enough. So the question that I keep getting thrown at me is, what happens if Joe Flacco takes the Browns on a deep playoff run? What happens if they get to an AFC championship game? What happens if he at least gets them to the Super Bowl? What happens then? And I'm going to answer this. It's pretty simple. Nothing. $230 million guaranteed. That's the unfortunate thing for the Browns, and it would be the most Browns thing ever. They will have their most successful playoff run since returning to Cleveland. I know they won a playoff game a few years ago. They ended up losing to the Chiefs in the divisional round or what have you. But the bottom line, I mean, they had a prime opportunity to get to the AFC championship game, and they let it slip right through their fingers. So the bottom line is if Joe Flacco does take them and win them a couple playoff games, or heaven forbid gets them to a Super Bowl, I mean, crazier things have happened. What if he wins them the Super Bowl? That would be the most Browns thing ever. You go all in on a roster. You pay your quarterback more money, guaranteed money than anyone else in the history of the league. He's out for the season. You bring some near 40-year-old quarterback off the couch who everyone thought was close to retirement. He comes in. He gets the job done. You'll bring Deshaun back. You'll never even get a deep playoff run again after that. It would be the most Cleveland storyline ever, even with a glimpse of success. Who knows what's going to happen? But, Kev, let's say it happens.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? What's your perspective of what do the Browns do if Joe Flacco all of a sudden they win out, they go on this deep playoff run, maybe get to a Super Bowl? What happens? He's 38 years old.
Joe Flacco parlays that into another starting quarterback position for somebody else.
Simple as that.
Because the Browns can't move off of the Deshaun Watson contract. If they were be crazy enough to pay him to go away like Jimbo Fisher or something like that down there at Texas A&M, it would be crazy. I mean, like you said, Joe Flacco is almost 40 years old. Deshaun Watson is 28 years old.
Yep.
I mean, do the math there. Yes, Joe Flacco has played better overall than Deshaun Watson this season. Very small sample size on both parts. I mean, one of those wins for Deshaun Watson, he played 5 snaps versus the Colts. Technically, he was the starting quarterback for that game, and they won, even though PJ Walker played majority of the game. So, yeah, the Joe Flacco thing, it does need to be worry about here and now. It shouldn't be thinking about the future because, hey, man, we don't know what's going to happen in the playoffs. But right here, right now, he has him in prime position to make a playoff run. And that's really the only thing people should be concerned about. And as far as what Joe Flacco would do, maybe he would sign up to be the backup next year. I mean, quality backup to have. Obviously, he came off the couch and is showing his worth to not only the Browns, but the rest of the NFL. But he could parlay that into a different quarterbacking job. All right, man, I don't know. Maybe the Bears go ahead and trade Justin Fields and they sign him and they want to draft Caleb Williams or Drake May, but want to bring them along slowly and have him be the starter, kind of like the bridge quarterback type of situation for more money. Maybe that's a possibility, but there's no way that Joe Flacco, barring injury, is going to be the starting quarterback week 1 for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind, too, we've seen quarterback situations that have happened where magic, you capture in a bottle for a little bit, like Nick Foles never looked like Nick Foles again after that Super Bowl season. I mean, the Eagles found, I guess a good example is to look at the Eagles in this situation because they paid Carson Wentz a lot of money, and then he goes down, and then Nick Foles comes in, and then he ends up leading him to a Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl MVP. Then they go back to Carson Wentz the next year. It doesn't work out. Nick Foles ends up never looking like the same guy again. I think who signed him? Was it Carolina? Someone signed him a huge deal. Nick Foles ended up going somewhere. The Jaguars. That's right. So the Jaguars paid him a nice chunk of change to go there and play it, but he just never looked like the same guy again. So I'm here to tell you, I don't care how good Joe Flacco looks the rest of the year. This idea that Joe Flacco, who the last time he played a full season, did not look this good. Who's to say that he'll look good the next couple of weeks? This could just be one of those things where he's, for one, got to keep in mind, everyone's always banged up at this point of the season in the NFL who's played. Maybe it's the guy that was on his couch that remained in shape is just coming in better shape than everyone, and he's not banged up. But once you have a near 40-year-old quarterback that's a little sore, that's a little bruised, that's a little banged up. The Browns are now without all their tackles. They're under their 3rd and 4th string practice squad guys at this point. There's going to be things that Joe Flacco has not faced with the Browns yet. That unfortunately, things have been kind of smooth rolling a little bit. Look, they lost the first game he started, not because of him. But the Browns, that was the best that they've looked all season this past week against a first-place Jags team, a playoff team in that. So I think the Browns will be just fine. But I'm here to tell you, I know what you guys are doing, and it's not going to work. I don't care. We've seen a Nick Foles situation where he won the Super Bowl. They go right back to the guy that they paid. This is a business. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, I hope it results in that. I hope that the Browns win the Super Bowl, and now they got to decide what they got to do. You know what they're going to decide? Back to Deshaun Watson. They're not out anything with Deshaun Watson. It's a lot of money going his way, but that money's going his way one way or another. And let's not act like the guy wasn't playing good football before he got hurt. He was playing his best football before he got hurt. And let's not forget, he had that perfect game against the Ravens, especially in the second half. 14 for 14. He threw for 176 yards in that second half. He didn't have an incompletion. All right. He threw 2 touchdowns. He rushed for a 2-point conversion. He rushed for a couple big first downs down the stretch. So the only thing I'm concerned about with Deshaun is his health moving forward. That's the big concern I have moving forward. But as far as anything that happens the rest of the way, storybook. I don't really care, but it's not going to lead to drama. It's not going to lead to anything. Deshaun, as long as he's healthy, will be the week 1 starter next year, even if Joe Flacco goes on to average 300 yards a game, completing 65 to 70% of his passes and winning the Super Bowl MVP. I'm sorry, Joe Flacco is not the Browns quarterback next season, no matter how well he plays.
Same thing that will happen with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep.
You know, if they go ahead and win the Super Bowl with their backup quarterback, guess what? Joe Burrow is going to be the starting quarterback come September. Like, it's as simple as that. You have money invested into your number 1 guy. So it's really not a talking point here. Like, that's what the organization has decided to do. And those other quarterbacks that have been paid have been proven talents in the league. So yeah, it's not a situation, but I'm sure those will be good problems to have if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. You know, a good talking point like, oh man, what would we do? Do we sign him to bring him back to be the backup quarterback? When are we going to build a statue of Joe Flacco outside of Cleveland? Something like that. But him being the starting quarterback, barring injury, is laughable.
Yeah, and again, right now with a good percentage of elite level starting quarterbacks out for the season, why is it everyone's poking fun at the Browns for having success without only the Browns could get made fun of for winning without their starting quarterback. Only the Browns. This is how much people hate the Browns. Oh, they're winning with Deshaun Watson being out, and they're still getting made fun of about Deshaun Watson. To where the Bengals are winning without Joe Burrow right now. In fact, you can argue that Joe Burrow leaving helped improve the offense because they've looked a million times better since his injury than when he was out there. I could play this game too. You see how silly I sound? That I'm just trying to give you all a taste of your own medicine. But like I said, you guys think it's an insult. I'm here to tell you, if you think that I'm going to be upset about the Browns winning a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, I will go on a apology tour about Joe Flacco like you would not believe.
Oh boy!
But Kev can't find receipts. So did I ever say it?
You definitely said it.
I don't know.
I just ain't got time to dig them up.
Don't got time, or they don't exist.
They definitely exist. I'm just not as petty as some people, or I just don't have time.
No, thank you. It was just gonna be you don't have time. Man, oh man.
Want to have a meeting?
So today, this is actually pretty cool. So for Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken is, they're a big sponsor of a lot of stuff that we do, and I should say a lot, pretty much everything we do here. Shout out to Chicken Chuck, shout out to Cam. Love our partnership with Lee's across the board for all of our local programming. But when you go through the drive-thru at Lee's, they're the first, I believe, are they considered fast food? Is Lee's considered fast food? Well, they're the first drive-thru in the area that has an automated drive-thru window. Mm-hmm. So it has like an AI-generated voice that's talking to you.
Okay.
Well, I believe the press release went out. Oh, crap. Well, I'm just going to assume it did because they told me it did. Remember that great partnership that I just ruined right now? No, I've been so coming up here soon, when you go through the drive-thru at Lee's, you're going to hear Keith Byers taking your order for you.
KB!
So that's what I spent my entire day, me and Keith Byers hanging out in the studio. Pages on pages on pages, Kev, of every answer you could imagine. So, but Keith will be the voice of the drive-thru at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken.
Very cool.
It'll be cool once it's done, but my gosh, it's a lot of work.
Are you all the way done?
No.
Oh.
No, we are not. Please pull around to the window. But shout out to Lee's. This was a very cool, innovative idea. To have Keith do that is pretty sweet. So, but that's what I've been doing all day.
KB!
So I didn't have time to go find the receipts. You did, though. You weren't doing anything. In fact, every time I saw you, you were messing with the Roku downstairs for a bit. You were eating some donuts. I've never seen you eat it. So I had a donut earlier, and I'm like, I shouldn't have a donut, trying to act like I don't eat donuts. But Kev said he had one, and then I felt like, then I'm allowed to have one.
Yeah, I had to have one. I didn't have any pizza, though.
I had pizza. See, so I'm disciplined if it's not in front of me.
Yes, I am the same way.
So that's why at home. So I go to the store. Kroger now has this, like, it's $5. It's like a little long pack of chicken, but it's like the thin chicken. It's thin raw chicken or whatever, but it fries up. I mean, you put it in the pan, it's done like that. I just make rice. That's all I eat. Okay. So I've lost quite a few pounds because of that. Been working out thanks to Brad at, Barefoot Gym, by the way. Great class. The class is 3 days a week. I mean, I've been losing a ton of weight because of that, but no bad food in the house. I go home. Now I'm pissed off because I'm starving. I'm having a fat attack, but this is where my laziness kicks in. I'm too lazy to go get food elsewhere. So I just eat what's there. But when I come to work and there's pizza downstairs and there's donuts, because we had a big little sales thing today. When Lee's drops off their food every week, I'm sorry. That's where it all goes downhill for me.
You lack discipline.
I do not have any discipline whatsoever.
What movie is that from?
I don't know. I just thought you were doing some cool accent just to be cool. What hold on. What was that from?
Kindergarten Cop.
Was that an accent?
Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hey, I'm not a good.
No, hold on. Redo. I thought you were.
You like discipline.
Oh, that was not good. That was not good. I didn't even know what you. I thought you were doing like a. I don't even know what I'm allowed to say. Never mind. I'm just going to go to break. It's the Kinner and Kev Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. When we come back, we're going to do what's more likely. Be thinking about this during the break. What's more likely, Kev? Don't answer these. Ohio State to lose their bowl game against Missouri.
OH.
Or Michigan to win the national championship. Which is more likely? Okay. Which is more likely? The Los Angeles Dodgers, who just acquired Shohei Ohtani and, a discounted $2 million a year deal. What's more likely, the Dodgers to miss the playoffs with their newly acquired superstar free agent in Shohei Ohtani, or the Reds to win the World Series? Which is more likely? And last but not least, which is more likely? This will feed off of what we just talked about exactly, Kev. What's more likely? You have the Bengals and the Browns with their backup quarterbacks. Which is more likely? The Browns to win a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, or the Bengals to win the Super Bowl this year with Jake Browning? Which is more likely? Be thinking of those during the break. We'll pick up with that on the other side. You're listening to the Kinner and Kev Show right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Tax refund advance loans at Jackson Hewitt. Starting December 11th, early refund advance offered to eligible clients. Application required. Finance charge applies. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
By now, you should know Audio Etc. has all the same sales and deals on TVs and projectors as everyone else. But did you know we also have some of the world's best hi-fi? Hi, this is Kirby from Audio Etc. And we do have some of the best home theater, high-fidelity gear on the planet. Not only do we have your favorite brands like Clip speakers and SVS subwoofers, but audiophile greats from Bowers & Wilkins, Kef, NAD, Marantz, Cambridge, Mark Levinson, and plenty of vinyl and tube gear. Plus exotics you only see in the magazines. Stop by today and visit Audio Etc.'s crazy cool showroom and see and audition the best audio and video has to offer. While you're in, check out our huge selection of pre-owned vintage gear. A great way to afford great gear otherwise out of reach, or revisit old classics. Audio Etc. Sound advice you can trust. Audio Etc. 551 Congress Park Drive at the corner of Paragon in Centerville, or call 434-9770.
Audio Etc. Crazy cool showroom.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Boost Mobile is giving families the holiday gift they really want. $1,000. That's what you could win with Boost Mobile's 12 days of Boostmas. That's right. Boost Mobile is giving away $1,000 a day. And to enter for your chance to win, all you have to do is stop by your local Boost Mobile store. You can enter anytime before December 23rd. But why wait? Head over to your local Boost Mobile store today for your chance to win $1,000 from Boost to you and yours. Sweepstakes ends 12/24/23. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. Visit winwithboostmobile.com/boostmas for details.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Be the Life of the Party.
Okay, first turn the music off. Then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also a time you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. And what's more, they like it. MediShare has double the member satisfaction rate compared to health insurance. Double. MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of more than 400,000 members. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, you'll get another 10% off all of 2024. That's 12 months of savings. So I'll give you the number here in a second, but call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's December 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
Don't go through another year with awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics right now and make 2024 the year you are back to living life normal again. Hey, it's Keith Byers. QC Kinetics can give you your life back. They are the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. These are all natural treatments that can repair and restore that damaged tissue, giving you pain-free movement again. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients around the country. People who had knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, who were able to get lasting relief with no surgery, no drugs, no downtime. If you have pain from an old injury or pain associated with arthritis, you need to check this out. The future of medicine is here. Regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. Make the call now so you can get the most out of 2024. Get back to doing what you love. And don't forget, you can use your HSA or FSA funds. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
NFL fans, the season is finally here. Get your picks submitted at wingam.com. Click on contest and enter the Pro Football Challenge. Weekly winners will win $20 in Frickers Fun Bucks. Get to wingam.com and get your NFL picks submitted now. Touchdown! Incredible! Good luck.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, 1410 ESPN Radio. All right, we got still a ton to dive into here today. Yes, we have our holiday party tonight. Some friends texted me, said, "Man, you were a little hard on your company." I'm like, "It was just jokes. I don't know how to be serious. I don't have a serious bone in my body. I don't. I laugh at funerals. I have problems, guys. I really do. I sometimes wonder, like, I know I have something wrong with me. I just like." There's times where I'm like, am I supposed to be sad right now? I look around like, I think I have something wrong with me.
Yeah. If you're laughing at funerals.
I mean, I'm not actually laughing. Come on, Kev. I'm not actually laughing at funeral. I'm just, but.
You laugh from crying.
Maybe that's what it is.
There it is.
That's what it is. We welcome you back. 518-1410. 518-1410. That's the number to jump in on the conversation. The Cleveland Browns made it official. Joe Flacco, who they added to the practice squad a few weeks ago, obviously played the best, provided the Browns with the best quarterback play that they've had all season, and it resulted in a big win over a division-leading Jaguars team. Again, we talked about the success of the Browns this season on their fourth quarterback, but of their 8 wins, 5 of those wins have come against teams that, if the playoffs started today, that they would be in. They've beat both 1 seeds as currently seeded in both the AFC and the NFC. And of the 8 wins, 3 of those wins are against teams currently leading their division. So the Browns have had a wild year, but when you look at the laundry list of guys that are on the not just injured reserve list, but out for the season, and that list guys continue to get added to that list yesterday. But Joe Flacco added to the practice squad. Well, no longer on the practice squad. They signed him to the 53-man roster. And he talked about earlier today, did teams try to pluck him away? Here's Joe Flacco.
I have no idea. I haven't looked at my bank account. I don't even know if I've gotten a check yet.
What a deal for the owner.
He's just flaunting it. I mean, imagine that. Like some of us, if we, when we get a job after not having a job for a while, we're refreshing our bank statements. We're like, come on. There it is. It popped up. He's like, I don't even know if I've got paid yet. I saw a thing over the weekend that he covered. I think he covered all the dinner for all of his linemen and stuff. He was at one point, though, the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League at one point. In fact, it was Aaron Rodgers' first mega contract with the Packers. It was the year that the Ravens had won the Super Bowl. They signed Flacco right after that. He was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL for a little bit, at least, because then Aaron Rodgers got paid.
Paid. But yeah, the crazy thing about Joe Flacco, nobody's going to be questioning if he's in this to win this. You know, he's a Super Bowl MVP with the Ravens, got a big bag for them, and he's bounced around other teams in the NFL and signed pretty nice contracts. You know, was with the Jets, was with the Broncos. So, you know, I'm sure he's not one of those guys out there constantly checking his bank account every single day like me and you are. You know what I'm saying? He's not the average quote unquote Joe out there. He's perfectly
I
fine.
see what you did. And don't speak for yourself. I don't need to check mine. I'm rich.
Speak for yourself.
So rich. I mean, my gosh.
We get paid tomorrow, by the way.
I didn't even know. I still have all this leftover money from last week. Ron Howard said, how come no one contacted Flacco if he's so good? There's a reason that no one reached out to him, and you will soon find out. No Browns. Ron, I'm not trying to get in a back and forth with anyone today. Trust me. I keep waiting for, there hasn't been a scenario like this too, where someone just hasn't played the entire season and then you just go pick them up off the couch and they go looking like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I do think that I don't think he's as good as what he's looked, but I don't think he's as bad as what some people say he is. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. But right now, remember I told you with the way the Browns are playing defense, and at the time when the offensive line was a little bit healthier, I kept saying he doesn't have to come in and be great. He just has to come in and get the ball to the open guys, like stuff that PJ Walker and stuff, of course, that was not happening with DTR, but he's kind of gone above and beyond that as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you know, the situation with Joe Flacco, yeah, I mean, he was on the couch, but the thing is, in today's NFL, the backup quarterbacks are normally young guys. Like, go look around the league. Like, there's not a ton of veteran backup quarterbacks. That's the thing of the early 2000s and the 90s. Like, they kind of phase out the veteran backup quarterback because veteran backup quarterbacks demand a higher salary. You know, I mean, Joe Flacco, it's not even the simple fact that, hey, he's negotiating a bigger deal. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. Hey, if you spent X amount of years in the league and you're a veteran player and you sign to the practice squad, you are entitled more money than somebody fresh off the street, you know, than a guy that's like an undrafted rookie. You are demand more money. So to save the team money, they are going to go say, hey, man, we're going to have this young rookie that showed a little bit of promise in camp, have him be the backup quarterback as opposed to signing Joe Flacco to a $6 million deal. You know, every penny counts in the league where you have a salary cap.
All right, well, it's the Kinner and Kev show again right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We're keeping it here. What's more likely? We threw some of these out before the break. What's more likely to happen? Kev, let's stay here with this conversation regarding Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns, and including the Cincinnati Bengals and their backup quarterback in Jake Browning. Which is more likely to happen, Kev? Joe Flacco to lead the Browns to the Super Bowl this season and win it. What's more likely?
Win it.
Joe Flacco to win a Super Bowl for the Browns, or the Bengals backup quarterback Jake Browning to win them a Super Bowl this season? Which is more likely? Which backup quarterback is more likely to lead their respective team to a Super Bowl victory this season?
The Browns, because the Browns are currently in the playoffs. The Bengals are on the outside looking in. I know they are 7-6, just one game technically back of the Cleveland Browns, but I think the Browns have a leg up to even make the playoffs. I still think it's going to be a tough road for the Bengals to even make the playoffs. So I will go with the Cleveland Browns.
Not because the Browns are better, not because of any of that, just because they're in the playoffs.
That is why.
Well, that's fine. But the bottom line is, homer or not, the Browns are better. I mean, the top 5 defense, significantly better run game, and the way Joe Flacco is playing right now, and special teams on top of that. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals have one of the worst defenses. They have one of the worst run games. Their special teams isn't very good outside of their Evan McPherson. But the bottom line is no, I think Joe Flacco, just a more seasoned quarterback on top of that, more experience, and the Browns are just better. I don't even think it's debatable. I think it's the Cleveland Browns. It's not even close. But I'm curious in the chat section, outside of the fact that the Browns are in the playoffs and the Bengals aren't, what makes the Bengals more talented than the Browns to get to win the Super Bowl?
Well, you tell me
season?
what you want me to say, and I'll just say it.
I'm not, it had nothing to do with you saying what I didn't want you to say. You say what you want to say. I'm just saying, but I'm just talking about from the fact that the Browns are just better. The Browns are better, right? Like, I mean, the Bengals, can you convince me that the Bengals are better than the Browns? They're just not even close. But you can't take a team that has better defense, better special teams, better run game, better offense, better all that, and then say, oh, the Bengals are better. That's just where I'm at. We'll see.
I think you're answering a question in the chat towards me that I didn't even bring up. I never said the Bengals were better.
I know you didn't. I didn't say you did.
Who said the Bengals were better?
No, when that. Wait, what? What is
Who,
happening?
who
right now? I
said
feel
the
like
Bengals were better?
Bengals fans.
Oh, that's what I said. I didn't know who you were talking. I didn't know.
No.
That's what I was asking.
Hold up. I'm really confused right now as far as what's happening. But anyways, on to the next one. Which is more likely, Joe Flacco to lead the Browns to the Super Bowl, or Jake Browning to lead the Bengals to the Super Bowl this season? Which one is more likely? On to the next one. The Dodgers just signed Shohei Ohtani to, of course, a record deal, $70 million a year, $700 million overall over a 10-year stretch, of course. Now, all that money, most of that money has been deferred. In fact, $68 million a year has been deferred, to where the Dodgers only have to pay Shohei Ohtani $2 million a year. Now, we have seen Shohei Ohtani play on a roster that has Mike Trout and that has all-stars around him, but they never made the playoffs. We've never seen Shohei Ohtani in the postseason. In fact, Mike Trout with the Angels, we've only seen in the postseason once.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, it's not guaranteed that Shohei Ohtani going to the Dodgers is going to equate, instant success. I mean, baseball is just a wonky sport that way. So what's more likely to happen? The Dodgers, after signing Shohei Ohtani, to miss the playoffs in 2024, or the Reds to win the World Series in 2024? Which one of those is more likely to happen?
Wow. Man. I would say more likely to happen is the Dodgers to miss the playoffs. I mean, you know what? No, take that back. I would say more likely the Reds to win the World Series, because it's been proven that the Dodgers have won 100 games in the regular season and still not won the playoffs. I mean, look who was playing in the World Series this past season. It was the teams that got hot as they're going into the playoffs. It wasn't necessarily the teams that were hot all season long that played 162 games and won 90 to 95 to 100 games to win the World Series. It's a team that continue to have to play hard throughout the back half of the season and get in there hot. So I think the Cincinnati Reds have an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I think that, and again, I still think the Reds have a lot of holes to fill. My concern is, I think that when we talk about how good the Reds are going to potentially be in 2024, it's based on the peak of what we saw from them in June. Let's not forget that we saw a lot more average baseball than elite baseball last year for pretty much the same roster. They added a couple pitchers with Martinez and Pagan and those guys, but they've yet to add that big splash. They haven't gone out to get Glass now. There's talks of them potentially getting Bieber and all that fun stuff. And if that happens, then great. But as of right now, we keep remembering that fun run that they went on in June into July, and we keep thinking that that's who they are. But we saw a very average, just below 500 team, which is this roster right now with a couple of additions, of course, finish a couple games under 500 in the back half of the season. Still competitive, still fun to watch, still have guys that can put the bat on the ball, some solid pitching. But at the end of the day, it's one of those where it's not as if we saw that run in June all season long. So I that's tough for me to say that there's a better chance of them winning the World Series than the Dodgers missing the playoffs. But at the same time, the Dodgers, they don't miss the playoffs. The Dodgers have constantly dominated that division. They've constantly, win 90 plus to 100 games a season. That was before Shohei Ohtani. So we'll see. The one thing that's tough is in baseball, we've seen before where the Washington Nationals have Bryce Harper, who at the time was argued as the face of baseball, right? They move on from Bryce Harper. He leaves, and they go on to win a World Series. I've always said that there's not one other sport out there that you can move on from your best player and you're going to win a championship that very next season. The Cavs, the Heat, the Lakers, any of those teams, every time they've moved on from LeBron, the Lakers haven't done it yet, but like the Cavs and the Heat, every time they moved on from LeBron, it has been a nightmare that very next season. All right, you take the best player away, boom, you instantly crumble. Baseball, you move on from Bryce Harper. The Nationals go on to win a World Series that next season. The Phillies, who added him, they don't even make the playoffs, and they actually had a very, very good roster. So baseball is a weird sport. So I'm going to say what's more likely to me, I would like to say the Dodgers missing the playoffs and the Reds winning the World Series, but I think it's more likely that the Dodgers miss the playoffs and the Reds win the World Series just because of the fact that the Reds, I just don't trust them yet. I feel good about them. I just don't trust them yet. And you know how I'm a homer when it comes to the Reds. We'll see. All right, leave your guys' opinions in the comment section. Last but not least, let's talk about college football. Ohio State, Michigan. I know, aren't we tired of talking about those two teams yet? What's more likely to happen, Kev? Ohio State to lose their bowl game against Missouri, or Michigan to win the national championship? Which is more likely to happen?
Ohio State loses to Mizzou in the Cotton Bowl. I think that's more likely because there's a ton of things that go into these bowl games, especially the ones that don't include the college football playoff. Who really wants to be there? You obviously have teams with aspirations of playing for the national championship, like Ohio State, where you're looking at Mizzou as a team on the rise. So they're more invested in trying to win this and send their seniors out the right way, put more tape out there for the NFL, and propel themselves into the following year. From the Ohio State perspective, you got guys hitting the transfer portal. You got guys opting out for the NFL. Now, I know we got a lot of good news about Denzel Burke and Emeka Egbuka and things of that nature, but I would see that more likely to be happening because of just, hey, man, you can like him, hate him, think he was trash or whatever, but Kyle McCord did start every single game for Ohio State at quarterback. So you're not only going to be having a brand new starter, you're going to have somebody that rarely took any snaps. I mean, Deborah Brown took like a handful of snaps all season long. So like that's a very crucial position to be throwing somebody in there. And Mizzou doesn't suck. So, and then you turn to the other side about Michigan. One, they not allowed to cheat. Two, they're going to be playing Bama. And if they are able to escape Bama, they'll be playing a potent offense from Washington or another potent offense from Texas with way better quarterbacks than Kyle McCord. And there are guys wide open with Ohio State versus Michigan. So if they are able to escape Bama, I expect them to get lit up by Texas or Washington. So I would say that it's more likely that Ohio State loses their bowl game.
Which is more likely to happen? Ohio State losing their bowl game, the Cotton Bowl matchup against Missouri.
Cotton Bowl.
Or what's more likely, Michigan to win the national championship. I, too, have to believe that what's more likely to happen is Ohio State losing to Missouri. Now, for one, currently Missouri is sitting as a 2.5-point favorite. I was curious to see that line actually really not move. It's actually moved more in favor of Missouri, and it moved more in favor of Missouri even after the talks of Emeka Egbuka saying that he's going to play and stuff like that. Obviously, it was Stover announcing, not Stover, the defensive back. Why am I drawing a blank?
Denzel Burke,
playing. I was shocked that the line moved again after that, but obviously we're still waiting to see about Trevion Henderson. I mean, it's, to me, I don't know what Marvin Harrison Jr. is waiting on. As I've stated before, is it a matter of waiting to see if the Buckeyes go land a quarterback in the portal? Maybe a Cam Ward intrigues him enough to come back another season. Who knows? Maybe it's an NIL package that they're working on. To me, if you're going pro and you know it, I don't know what you're waiting on, but the bottom line is I'm going to just mentally put him to the side. I don't think he's going to play one way or another as far as that goes. But Ohio State, I think it's more likely that they lose to Missouri than Michigan to win a national championship. Let's just be clear here. With all the talk of the cheating and everything else, Michigan, I've yet to see them look as dominant as what they did even last year. I thought they looked more dominant last season than they did this season. Now, again, not to their credit, but I mean, they were dealing with they were having to overcome a lot of distractions off, a lot of self-inflicted type of stuff, of course. Got to blame the coaching staff and all of that type of stuff, but they've overcome it. They've found ways to win games. Undefeated Big Ten Conference champions. Well, oh yeah, Stallions. Yeah. So I think that Alabama, heading into this playoff, I know that's a sour spot for you, but I actually think that Alabama, and by the way, I never once said, oh, Alabama, I think that they're better. That's why they deserve to be in over Florida State. But put Florida State off to the side. Alabama, to me, is playing the best football heading into the playoffs, like, in my opinion. I think that when you look at the team that just looks the best right now, playing their best football compared to what they did to start, Alabama, hands down, on both sides of the ball. Not only do I not think Michigan's winning a national championship, they're not even getting to the national championship. They're not beating Alabama, in my opinion.
I hope not.
So there's that. Go Blue. Just joking. Roll Tide. How about that? All right. I see Packers fan Tim and some callers are waiting on hold. We're going to get to you guys coming up on the other side. 518-1410. If you want to jump in on any of those, what is more likely, you could do so now in the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page and all that type of fun stuff. We'll be right back. Kinner and Cap, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
Would you like to save hundreds of dollars on your real estate taxes? Celebrate the holidays with the gift of a lower tax bill. This is Montgomery County Auditor Carl Keith, and if you're a homeowner age 65 or older, or you are permanently and totally disabled, you could be eligible for the homestead exemption. To find out if you qualify, call my homestead hotline at 937-225-4341. The deadline to apply for this tax break is December 31st. But if you are already enrolled, you do not need to reapply. New applicants are subject to an income test. Visit our website for more information at mcauditor.org or call 937-225-4341. That hotline number again is 937-225-4341. And remember, the deadline to apply is December 31st. This is Auditor Carl Keith wishing you and your homestead the best this holiday season.
Frickin' chicken chunks, frickin' chicken chunks, frickin' chicken chunks, frickin' chicken chunks.
When there's no time to make food for your holiday party, carry out 4 pounds of frickin' chicken chunks for only $34.99. Give the gift that always fits. A $25 Frickers gift card and get 5 frickin' bonus pots free. Let them get what they really want.
We love saying it because it's true. Chevrolet of Troy has the absolute lowest prices. Get the deepest discounts with up to $10,000 off MSRP. Plus no payments until New Year's. And sign and drive with 0 cash down. The best selection in the region with over 100 brand new Chevrolets. Remember, customer service is our top priority. We make financing a breeze. A full service, state-of-the-art dealership makes Chevrolet of Troy your best choice. Save, save, save at 1375 South Market Street and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers, and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
Don't miss Kinner and Kev, weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. All right, so we did, what's more likely, just throwing out 2 unlikely scenarios, basically, and then talk about which of those scenarios is more likely to kind of happen. The first scenario we threw out was, of course, the Browns being led by Joe Flacco and the Bengals being led by Jake Browning. Which backup quarterback is more likely to lead their team to a Super Bowl? Ohio State losing to Missouri or Michigan winning a national championship? Which one of those scenarios is more likely to happen? The Dodgers, who just signed Shohei Ohtani, what's more likely? Them missing the playoffs after signing Shohei Ohtani or the Reds to win the World Series? Which one of those unlikely scenarios is most likely to happen? So Alex Early on Facebook, Kev, before I get to his, so Troy is a Michigan fan. Troy brought up Bama barely escaped Auburn. Look, the playoff field is set. Those talking points don't matter anymore. My only thing I'm going to say on that stuff is it's a long season. There are even undefeated teams, and you go look at their resume, there's a team that they let hang around longer than they should. So if it's the week of, if we're talking about Alabama being in over Florida State, that was in response. He's a Michigan fan. And it was because I said that they're playing their best football. I still believe that. I think when you look at the team, this has nothing to do with your Florida State team, I promise. I just mean,
You're fine.
Well, to be fair, you were even high on Alabama before this thing happened with Florida State. So I get where, but no, I'm bringing this up because, man, what's their quarterback's name? Milroe?
Yeah,
So-
Jalen Rimmer.
and he announced he's coming back next year. By the way, so there's that. But yeah, like the second that all of a sudden that switch was flipped and they went back to him the second time, I just feel like the way that he runs the football, throws the football, the playmakers they have, of course, and then the defense, I feel like they're just playing dominant football. Like I said, not only is Michigan not winning a national championship, I don't even see them getting to the national championship, especially because they couldn't even beat TCU last year and they got Alabama this year. So it's as simple as that. Like you said, Kev, they can't cheat, so they got their work cut out for them.
That's the biggest thing for me, man.
Yep.
No cheating allowed. No cheating. Can't cheat. No. On a serious note, like I just think that I don't think they'll beat Alabama. I think Alabama is what they want to be, especially this year. I think we talked about it like way back in August about, this isn't the typical Alabama team. This isn't the, Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith and, Tua-led Alabama, Bryce Young, where it's really about splash and offense and things of that nature. It's a really dialed back Alabama to like the first championship under Nick Saban and the one they won over Texas. It's really about running the ball, playing tough defense and big plays over the top as opposed to, just putting up 40 a game. This is a team that's going to play in the mid-20s or maybe the low 30s type of game, and that's exactly where Nick Saban really wants to play football. He's a defensive coach, so he loves this type of football, and I just thought it would be pretty cool if in this age of college football where guys are throwing for 5,000 yards, you look at what the LSU quarterback was able to do, throw for 5,000, run for another 1,000 yards, 40 touchdowns in the air, another 15 on the ground, for a team to dial it back and play a defensive style of football and win a national championship. I thought that would be pretty cool. But even if they're able to get past Bama, their biggest challenge would be against either Texas or Washington with those two quarterbacks. And not only because they're really good quarterbacks, they got a lot of good weapons out there as well. You got Roma Doze from Washington and the wide receiver core out there. And then you talk about Quinn Ewers. I mean, he has Worthy. He has A.D. Mitchell, a guy who scorched Ohio State in the semifinals last year. So I don't think that the Michigan Wolverines have faced a receiving core like they will face versus Washington or Texas with a quarterback. You face the receiving core versus Ohio State, but they got the quarterback. They got the trigger man to hit those guys. So I think even if Michigan is able to beat Alabama, I think they get handled by either Texas or Washington in the Natty.
Troy said Bama might win, not saying they can't, but how is Bama a dog in Vegas? The same way TCU was a dog in Vegas last year against Michigan. So I'm just saying.
Vegas don't know everything. I mean, Bama was a dog to Georgia in the SEC championship game.
So
Washington was a 9-point dog to Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game. I mean, they don't know everything. We win sometimes.
Alex, I'll get to yours coming up here in the program in just a moment. Let's go to the phones. Packers fan Tim, you've been patient.
Timmy!
How are you, sir?
Hey, well, you guys are going to be on for a while, so before I get to a proposed bet with you, Justin.
No, ask Kev how I am with these bets.
I think Ohio State has a much better chance of beating Missouri than Michigan does of beating Alabama and the winner of the Texas-Washington game. So, to me, that's not even close. Also, do either of you guys ever play the lottery?
Every once in a while.
I have FanDuel.
Okay.
That's as close to that.
Okay. Well, let's say somebody buys a lottery ticket. Now, this is going back to the Bengals and the Browns. I think the Browns have a much better chance to get to the Super Bowl or even win the Super Bowl with Flacco than the Bengals do with Browning. Because I'm like the Bengals. I have no chance because I never buy a lottery ticket. The Browns have a chance. It's going to be a 1 in a million chance, but at least they have a ticket. That's the way I look at that. So, Justin, before you start thinking about the Super Bowl with your guys, and I'm all for, I think Flacco's really good, as a guy coming in. I think that's a great signing. I believe that Myles Garrett is the king of the jungle, the NFL being the jungle. I believe the Browns have a really good offensive line, even though they got a little bit of issue with injuries at the tackles. But I'm willing to bet the New York Jets, no matter who their quarterback is, it's probably going to be Zach Wilson, will beat your Browns. So what kind of beer, what's the bet? I lost a six-pack to you once before when I was betting on the Bengals a year or two ago. What do you say?
Kev, what do you say? Well, for one, here's the thing.
He ain't gonna pay up, Tim.
Hold on, I haven't paid yet. All right, you can't the story's not over. I mean, the season's not over. I mean,
it's 4 months ago.
I thought with the Browns beating the Steelers last, it kind of canceled out. No, that's
no.
Damn.
We never rebet.
Damn.
Well, you know what, Kevin? Maybe if here's the thing: if Justin wins the bet, Kevin, he knows I pay my bets.
He does.
I'll drop off the 6-pack of beer, and then you can just get your beer from him. So we'll bet. I mean, I'm going to win the bet. You'll probably owe me beer for years.
Repeat the bet, Tim. Repeat the bet. What are we betting again?
Straight up, the Jets against the Browns are playing in 2 weeks. Straight up, Jets against the Browns.
Straight up money line.
I got my side team. I don't want any points.
How do you get a side team when your team's still in it?
Oh, I know they're still in it, but I got an NFC team and an AFC team.
That's fair. I got the Browns in the AFC, the Cowboys in the NFC, so
Yeah.
Funny enough, I don't. I only root for the Steelers.
See, that's why you're unhappy. You need to,
I need a side team.
You need a side team.
You know what?
Go Niners.
Whatever beer you owe Kevin, that's the beer we'll bet. So either you'll owe us each a 6-pack, or I'll give you a 6-pack and you can pay off Kevin.
Oh, I like
so you're either going to buy a 12-pack of that beer,
it's almost double or nothing is almost what it comes down to.
Shame.
All right, Tim's trying to bail me out. I like this. All right, deal.
All right.
Deal. Okay, good stuff. Hey, Tim,
guys.
Good hearing from you.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
You as well. Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I guess it is almost Christmas
Man.
time. You got your shopping done yet?
I'm almost done. I have like 3 more gifts to get, but I'll be done by Saturday.
Is it beer for me?
No? You get nothing.
I already got I'm on the IOU.
I just have to mail my brother's gifts.
I've been horrible. I got my mom's gift ordered. That's it.
That's it. What about the missus?
The missus, you want to know what we are doing? This is the most romantic thing ever. You ready for this?
Oh boy.
We are so close to paying off of our wedding. So what we are doing is paying off our wedding. That is our Christmas present to one another.
That's what grown folks do, man.
Now we did this last year where we said we weren't getting each other anything, and then then I got her something and she didn't get me something, and then she was mad at me because I got her something. So then she refused to open the gifts, and I'm like, oh, 'tis the season. Open the damn gift and let's be happy. Come on.
Keep doing that. Make sure you buy her something regardless. Even if it's just something small. Something small. Something like, $20, $40 just to, get those brownie points for later, if you know what I mean.
We'll see. Yeah, because I'm bound to piss her off at some point.
Exactly.
But
so when you do make her mad, you be like, I bought you a Christmas gift.
Oh, trust me. I was like, you didn't get it. So anytime I want to really get her mad, I'm like, you didn't get me anything for Christmas last year. But this year, we're paying off our wedding. That's fa la 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 la. Doesn't get any more romantic than that.
Hey.
All right, we'll step away for a few moments. Talked a lot about the transfer portal this week and some of the potential changes to the portal, but a couple local players have either announced where they are committing to or where they are, after entering the transfer portal, where they're going to end up. Jackson McGowan, one of my favorite players from Miamisburg, he had committed to LSU and now has just committed to another team. Today he announced it, and pretty excited about this one. He's in the Big Ten. So we'll talk about that when we come back. It's the Kinner and Kev Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. Actually, real quick, hold up. I want to answer this. Alex
Go for
Early.
it.
Alex Early, because I see you commented again. My bad. Help me out with this. Answer this. Alex Early says, I want to submit a what if to the show, Kev. He goes, what quarterback that has a season-ending injury has the most likely chance to win a Super Bowl? So not the team of the quarterback that went out. So you have Justin Herbert, you have Joe Burrow, you have Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers. Those are the 4, right? I'm assuming is there you have Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 5, and I feel like I'm missing an obvious one. So Alex Early, one more time. We'll answer this on the other side as well. He says, what quarterback that has had a season-ending injury has the most likely chance to win a Super Bowl? So we'll answer that when we come back. He did say including Aaron Rodgers. So we'll get to that. We'll answer that, Alex. Thank you for throwing that question in. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. To find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Hungry for a great time? Maybe some great food? Then come on down to your neighborhood Submarine House. Try our oven-toasted deli subs, our mouth-watering salads, pizzas, appetizers, and more. And wash them down with a unique selection of craft beers while watching the big game on our big screens. With locations around Dayton, in Columbus, and our newest sports bar in Kettering, you're never far from a Submarine House. Subs, sports, spirits, Submarine House.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the atmosphere is positively electric as we look to the future. Our name may have changed, but Harley-Davidson of Xenia has been locally owned since 1984. Under our new management, the staff and store are buzzing to get you set up for the open road. Whether you're shopping for merchandise, a new bike, or just need some maintenance on your current ride, Harley-Davidson of Xenia is here for you. Visit us online to learn more and to place a reservation on your new bike. hdofxenia.com.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Alienware's holiday event starts now. For a limited time, go beyond performance on select gaming laptops featuring Intel Core processors. Shop now at alienware.com/deals.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kinner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Coming up here on the corner, Kev Nash and I will give you our top 5 MVP candidates right now. Kind of a weird year for that because there's a lot of interesting candidates there due to a lot of the big-name quarterbacks being out for the season. Could this be a year that maybe a non-quarterback could come away with it? We'll talk about that coming up here in just a few moments. Again, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. All right, Alex Early a little bit ago said he submitted this question. We kind of thought about it during the break. What quarterback that has had a season-ending injury to this point has the most likely chance to win a Super Bowl? Those names, of course, include Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, and then Alex Early said that more Anthony Richardson, Kenny Pickett, and Daniel Jones. So this is one of those that are it's kind of tough to answer because each quarterback's in a different situation, right, team-wise. For ranking quarterbacks from most talented to least talented, that's a different kind of ranking, but might kind of all have the same vibes or what have you. I guess possibly Joe Burrow, but I want to say Aaron Rodgers at the same time. I think that unless this defense of the Bengals picks up, like the one thing I do know for the Jets next year, if they keep this defense, the Jets have one of the best defenses in the National Football League right now. It's amazing how many teams with good quarterbacks are playing where they get the opposing team's good quarterback to play pretty average, but because they have no offensive firepower, they can't compete. I think Aaron Rodgers coming back with Garrett Wilson, they're going to make the offensive line a priority in the offseason. I'm going to say, because I'm high on Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, I think that Aaron Rodgers has the best chance of winning a Super Bowl next season. Now, Alex, it was kind of a vague question. You didn't really clarify like next season or just at all in general. I'm going to base off of next season. I'd say Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers are in that. I will say if the Browns keep this defense together, which is going to be tough, this offseason will be tough for the Browns because that's when the major cap numbers are going to start to strike them. I don't know how much of that defense they can keep intact. But if the Browns find a way to keep that defense intact, I would put Deshaun in that category. But I will say Aaron Rodgers will be more responsible for a Jets Super Bowl. Joe Burrow would be more responsible for a Bengals Super Bowl than Deshaun would for the Browns. But you know what I mean? Like, I think that Deshaun has to be perfect for the Browns to win. Joe Burrow doesn't always have to be perfect for the Bengals to win. And the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers, though. I'm
going to go with the better team. And on paper, the better team is the Cleveland Browns out of all those teams. I mean, we talk about the New York Jets, what was the big issue going into the season? Offensive line. And now we're supposed to be like, oh, man, now that Aaron Rodgers got hurt, we really got to fix the offensive line. Well, shouldn't that have been the priority prior to him being injured? I mean, he was 40-plus years old, and you didn't fix the offensive line. So now we're supposed to fix the offensive line. But guess what? He's going to be even a year older. And then you look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Now they're about to have to start paying guys. And then who knows what's going to happen with T. Higgins and that situation with his contract. I think the Cleveland Browns on paper will be the better team out of all those, no matter how you feel about the quarterback, even if
you base this off next season, right?
Yeah. So I would say that roster is better than the Jets and the Bengals.
And again, overall roster. This is where I got blasted coming into the year when I said, I know this sounds weird, and I know I could be a homer at times. I just felt like the Browns had the better overall team than Cincinnati, even though the Bengals had more flash because you have Joe Burrow, you have T. Higgins, you have Jamar Chase. But like I said, I wanted to say the Browns next season, but like I know it's going to be cap hell but Andrew Berry was supposed to be cap hell coming into this season, and they actually had more cap space this year than they did last year, which they didn't have his contract on the books last year, technically up to that point, because it was only $1 million. So they'll restructure it again, but I still think he'll count towards like 18 to 20 mil towards the cap next year. I don't think he's at that at all this year either. I think he's at like 8 or 9. So next year will be 18 to 20 in that range. So that'll hurt the Browns. That's why I said that. But
Myles Garrett's still going to be there?
Myles Garrett will still be there. It's Denzel,
there you go.
It's Denzel Ward. Like, this is where when teams get to this point with their quarterback, where the money, like, there's so many times I see teams like, man, why are they moving on from that guy? How can they move on from that guy? Because you have no choice. You have no choice. Like, this is why I was not being a hater about the T. Higgins situation, but at no point in the history of football has there been an example of a team being able to have the highest paid quarterback, the highest paid wide receiver, and still pay another number one level type wide receiver, one receiver money. Like, that's why I wasn't hating. I was just like, that was never going to happen. So I've also always said about the Bengals, Kev, that it was crucial for them to win the Super Bowl when they got there 2 years ago or last year, because the rosters were going to continuously decline. And I think that's going to be the case again. I mean, I was right. This roster is not as good this year as last year. It's not producing as well. The defense. Now, could those rookies in year 2 step up? Could another year with Dax, could another year with Cam Taylor-Britt, you know what I mean? With everyone healthy, but they're going to lose Mike Hilton. All right. Who knows? Are you going to be able to, pay Reader? Are you going to be able to pay all those guys, once you make Jamar the highest paid receiver in football with the highest paid quarterback? So my point is now you're going to be even worse next year because you're not going to have T unless you franchise him. Do you think they franchise him?
Probably.
So they might. But yeah, I think the Bengals are right up there at the top. They have, when Joe Burrow's healthy, but that's the big key, him being healthy. But no, I'm glad you picked my Browns, but I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. I think they addressed that offensive line this offseason. I really do. And I think you get Aaron Rodgers, an offensive line. You have Breece Hall at running back. You have Garrett Wilson. You have some talent at wide receiver. And then that defense, I like the Jets' chances with Aaron Rodgers next year. Alex, thank you for that question.
Rodgers.
I tell you what, the Colts are interesting, though, with Anthony Richardson. What was your takeaway from his play? I mean, we didn't get to see much of him, but he actually looked the most comfortable of all the rookie quarterbacks out there outside of C.J. Stroud. He was actually letting it rip a little bit.
Yeah, it would look very good. Like we say all the time, small sample size. They were bringing that Philadelphia Eagles offense over to the Colts, their offensive coordinators, their head coach. So he looked very comfortable. Looked like he knew what he was doing, as opposed to a lot of young quarterbacks. Looked like they were, heavily using his legs and a lot of the stuff that he was already doing at the University of Florida. You know what I'm saying? A lot of RPO, rolling out the pocket, really wasn't as in the 5-step drop, scan the field, make a decision, read the defense and everything like that. They kept it very elementary for him very early on. But him not playing this whole season, I view that as a major setback. You know what I'm saying? Him getting hurt so early on is just like devastating, man, because he's not going to be able to do the things they was going to be able to do, seeing it and getting those live reps on the field. He was already only a 1-year starter at Florida already. So you're already behind the 8 ball on reps. So it was a lot of weight put on his athleticism and what he could potentially become. And now he's behind the 8 ball even more.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, 1410 ESPN radio. Jumping back into the college football world here in just a few moments. Jackson McGowan played his high school football days at Miamisburg. He's one of my favorite players to call games for. One of my favorite games from him is 2 years ago. They were playing Springfield. Springfield undefeated, number 1 in the state. Everyone was talking about Mo Douglas's Springfield Wildcats, and they should. I mean, there's talent all over the place. But Miamisburg, Jackson McGowan, man, he had over 100 plus receiving yards. He had 3 touchdowns in Miamisburg upset win against Springfield. That was one of my favorite games that Keith Byers and I had called for high school football. Been a big fan of Jackson ever since. At one point, he had committed to play for Luke Fickell at Cincinnati. Luke Fickell bailed on the Bearcats, quit on him. He just quit. No, but Luke Fickell takes the Wisconsin job. So when he left, of course, that opened up the recruitment again, and that's how he ended up at LSU with Coach Kelly. But now he just announced his commitment to his new team, and his new team also just got a new quarterback out of the portal as well. So I'm excited to talk about Jackson McGowan on the other side and where he ended up. I saw another big-name coach was in town last night checking out a local player. We'll talk about that later on as well. The cool part about the portal is, too, there's a lot of local guys that we could talk about as far as that's concerned. Cam Fancher, he was at Marshall. He entered the portal. We never really talked about that. The way Cam Fancher kind of got buried by his head coach is a little ridiculous. You don't see that often. Even, coaches who want to say something, but they know they can't because it might mess up a relationship, with a future recruit or whatever. It's just a wild situation there. We got a lot to dive into. It's the Kinner and Kev Show, 1410 ESPN. Right? We got the association to talk about as well.
Indeed.
Draymond Green, man.
Oh, boy.
Today's NBA is soft. Then something non-soft happens. Man, there's no need for that stuff in today's game. You can't have it both ways. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
Well, the forecast is clear and 26 tonight. Sunshine, 54 tomorrow. Saturday, mostly cloudy. We'll have a high 53. I'm Rick Schremp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Menards is celebrating Ryan Blaney's NASCAR championship with 12% off everything. Sylvania's TrueWave LED bulbs provide the closest lighting to natural sunlight. This helps you feel and see better by offering an enhanced color experience. Create a nurturing environment for your family. A 6-pack of 65-watt LED flood bulbs is on sale for $17.59 after 12% off. Hurry in before Christmas Day. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. Sorry, no price adjustments. See store for details.
Season's greetings to you all from Menards.
We love saying it because it's true. Chevrolet of Troy has you covered for all of your auto service needs. We have the most up-to-date and state-of-the-art dealership with experienced service department that's second to none. In fact, we're the only dealership in Miami County with an on-site body shop. Our experienced professionals diagnose your vehicle quickly to get you back on the road. For a limited time, get an oil change for as low as $29.95. Chevrolet of Troy, 1375 South Market Street, and online at ChevroletofTroy.com.
When I got the news, I was shocked. I was scared. I was angry. When I heard it could be treated with the right care, I was relieved. I was happy. I was given a second chance.
Urology Specialists of Ohio offers men peace of mind. 5 physicians and 5 locations. Now accepting new patients. Make an appointment with a physician that cares about your health and prevention. Urology Specialists of Ohio, Beaver Creek, Springfield, Urbana, Xenia, and London. Online at urologyspecialistsofohio.com.
$5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring experienced Class A CDL drivers with excellent work history. If that's you, apply now. Cordell Transportation offers home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, and brand new equipment, plus a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, and company 401k with company match. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
The holiday season is right around the corner, so give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Give them a Steel. With powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws to place under the tree, the Steel Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Save $30 on the GTA 26 battery-powered garden pruner. Visit your local Steel dealer or go to steelusa.com/gift guide. Real Steel. Find yours. Now $149.99 was $179.99 MSRP. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
You've heard the buzz about IT jobs in cybersecurity and AI, right? Why not prepare for a career in these fields and take advantage of the high demand? You could enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary. Already in IT? Skill up for positions employers need to fill. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Hungry for a great time? Maybe some great food? Then come on down to your neighborhood Submarine House. Try our oven-toasted deli subs, our mouth-watering salads, pizzas, appetizers, and more. And wash them down with a unique selection of craft beers while watching the big game on our big screens. With locations around Dayton, in Columbus, and our newest sports bar in Kettering, you're never far from a Submarine House. Subs, sports, spirits. Submarine House.
KFC's 2 for $5 chicken wraps. Now in new mac and cheese, classic, and spicy slaw. That's right, chicken wraps are back at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
If you're a sports fan in the Miami Valley, make sure you subscribe to Dayton's ESPN Radio YouTube channel. Buckeyes, Browns, Bengals, local high school sports, Dayton Flyers, Wright State Raiders, and more. Search ESPN Dayton on YouTube and subscribe today.
We need to do a wellness check for Shaw.
Huh?
Shaw, you remember him?
Who?
Exactly. Shaw, you know we don't dislike you, right? Like, you don't have to keep pouting. Like, I think we beat up on his team one too many times. Like, I thought you were down about your team. I think he's more down with us than that.
His team's in the playoffs.
Yeah, but
they got a chance to win the Natty.
But he knows he doesn't feel that good about it because he knows his team cheated to get there.
That's
what it is.
The cheaters.
Like, if he felt good and confident about his team's path to the playoff, he'd be here chirping. Maybe not on the phone because he's banned, but his band's coming up though. I mean, what's the countdown? Don't we have countdown features for our website?
We do.
Do we like him enough to put a countdown?
I mean, he doesn't listen to the show anymore, so there's no need to do that. I don't know if he
deserves it. But man, if
he doesn't listen to the show, he doesn't interact with the show. Does he still come out to Frickers?
You know what it is? I didn't see him. I haven't seen him in a while. He's been a little pouty.
Wow.
You know what it is? I think he's out. I think he's on a lot of Santa gigs. I think he's ho, ho, ho.
Well, I mean, if he's not going to support the show, there's no need to talk about him.
Yeah, but that's too bad because we have a countdown feature that we could have put on the website, like the countdown to how many days to the Michigan game. We could have how many days and hours until Shaw is unbanned from the show.
That would have been nice, but he doesn't listen anymore. Doesn't support anymore.
Yeah, I have just so you guys know, I have like a folder of the best of Kinner versus Shaw. We might have to have a whole show one day.
Play it on Kinner, Christmas Day.
Yeah. Oh, 'tis the season. Ho, ho, ho. Right there. How about this, Kev? So this is a quote from the Marshall head football coach, Charles Huff. Okay?
Chuck.
Charles Huff had some very weird things to say about Cam Fancher, former Wayne. He played at Wayne, and then he was at Marshall. Now he's in the transfer portal. Bruce Feldman tweeted this out that Marshall's Cam Fancher is expected to take visits this week to LSU and NC State.
Nice.
So now they highlighted Cam Fancher because this is a rare multi-year starter with multiple years of eligibility remaining. Herd coaches says he's talented and very tough. Now there, of course, so with the weird, out as far as that's concerned, the way he left that particular school. So it's just interesting nonetheless how that's worked out. But Huff did respond. He goes, so Huff's apology for the comments he made about Cam Fancher. First, in all sincerity, I want to apologize for my remarks being misinterpreted last week. I was asked a question by a reporter, and I inserted my opinion over facts about a situation, which ultimately created a little bit of a sandstorm. It was truly based on my opinion and a small minority of fans, and I actually generalized the entire fan base. That was wrong. I take full responsibility for that. It was not my intent. So, and I'll have that full quote. I want to make sure I find the full quote before I go on to talk about, what he said. But I remember when you first read it too, you were like, wait, the head coach actually said that?
Yeah.
Like it was pretty wild. But Cam Fancher, for one, good for him. It's cool. I love that we've been doing these high school games now long enough, that games that these kids that we've called their games in high school now, they're, in the portal and they're making waves. They're getting big. The fact he's making visits to NC State, who, obviously they just lost their quarterback.
Right.
So Cam Fancher could potentially go play there, which would be wild. LSU, that would be wild. Although LSU, they're going to be dipping their toes in a lot of, QB pools and all that fun stuff. So we'll see. But I'm pulling for Cam Fancher. Man, that'd be wild to see him at LSU or NC State or somewhere. It was cool to see him at Marshall. But yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's so cool for local kids from around the area to be recruited. Not only obviously recruited by big time powerhouses like LSU and things like that, but just, guys going to wherever they're going. If they're going to play at the MAC level or whatever level of football, you want to see these kids that we've talked about on the airways from multiple years go on and chase their dreams and, make great citizens and get degrees and, just have a good time playing football. But back to what Coach said, I mean, when you read it that day, I was like, wait.
I have it right here. I found it.
Go for it. Go for it. So everybody know the full quote.
Well, I had it originally, then the computer froze because everything does in here. I'm sorry. It's my Christmas spirit, 'tis the season. But no, real quick. So what Kev's talking about, we just didn't have the quote right away because it froze a little bit. We got it back. So Marshall head football coach Charles Huff, when Cam Fancher, who played at Wayne, when he decommitted or entered the transfer portal, if you will, he had this to say, Kev. This was wild. The head coach of Marshall said there just isn't a lot of money for name, image, and likeness, and the fans hate him. The kid has been miserable. That's what the head coach said. Imagine if when Kyle McCord entered the transfer portal. Well, the fans hate him, and he's been miserable here. So, first of all, I get his apology. I'm glad he apologized, but I hate when people say stupid things and say, well, you just misinterpreted it. No, you said fans hate him and he's miserable. There's not a whole lot to misinterpret there. You said something stupid is all you said.
Yeah.
There's nothing to, it almost feels like he was trying to make me feel crazy, like gaslighting me and the fans for misinterpreting that. Well, you just misinterpreted it, first of all. No, we didn't. You said the fans hate him. And you said he's miserable. And with the way you acted, probably because you were pissed off after he entered the portal, because it creates a problem for you. I mean, to be honest, no wonder he's miserable if that's what you're saying, and what you're not saying is probably two different things. But who knows? I don't really follow Marshall football, but I do follow some of our local players. Cam Fancher's a good one. I hope he lands on his feet. But so that's what he said as you were talking about.
Yeah, that's just, look, coaches in the behind the scenes, if Chip Kelly or whomever, Brian Kelly, whatever school he's trying to transfer to, if they're interested, they're going to reach out to coach and say, all right, what's Cam really like? You can let it loose then behind closed doors. But saying those type of things out there to the public is just uncalled for. If you feel a certain way about a kid, if he was, a jerk or something like that, you don't need to put that out there. Like, hey, he hit the transfer portal. We're on to the next season. We're going to have two guys battle it out for the quarterback spot and keep it pushing, kind of basically taking the higher road, to put him out there and, talk about how miserable he was and stuff like that. Why is that needed? What is that needed for? Who are you servicing in that situation? And talking about, NIL, I don't necessarily begrudge coaches for bringing that up, because that is a situation that they have to deal with, that they're not comfortable dealing with and everything like that. But the fans hate him thing, that affects his next stop. That affects him getting an opportunity at a next stop. So if you say that to a coach behind closed doors, It's all fair game. But to say that to the masses, now we're talking about Marshall football in a bad light. You know what I'm saying? And normally when we're talking about Marshall football, we're talking about the glory years of Randy Moss and Chad Pennington and Brian Leftwich. And, you know, for us locally, we're talking about Cam. But, like, now we're looking at Marshall and the whole situation down there like they're crazy.
Yeah, wild situation nonetheless, but it will be interesting to see where he ends up. I was, again, LSU, NC State. Like, I'm hoping he finds himself with a program that he's going to get a lot of national spotlight on him. That's for sure. Jackson McGowan played his high school days at Miamisburg, originally committed to UC when Luke Fickell was there. Luke Fickell left. Then he, of course, committed to Coach Kelly over at LSU whenever he left left Notre Dame to head there. But not really back in the portal, but he's in the portal because he had the right to decommit. I mean, he had the right to enter the portal as many times as you want now, apparently. But the bottom line is he announced his commitment to Wisconsin to play for Luke Fickell once again. Now, he's listed as a tight end. He was star wide receiver at Miamisburg, but he's a big wide receiver.
Yeah.
Now he's a big body for tight end too. But that's an athletic get for Wisconsin, a big get for Wisconsin, in my opinion. And it's a good week for Luke Fickell because he was able to get, the quarterback from Miami,
Tyler Van Dyke.
So you got your quarterback, and then you got a big pass catcher now at tight end. So we'll see. And tight ends, by the way, Wisconsin play, I don't know how Luke Fickell has changed Wisconsin yet. We're about to find out. I think you'll get a better vibe in year two. But tight ends, run game, power football. I think you're going to see them kind of open it up a little bit more than we traditionally see at Wisconsin. But getting a good tight end and getting your quarterback is a good start if you're the Badgers and Luke Fickell.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the offense that they ran down there at UC, they ran a lot of dual tight ends. Leonard from up there and Springfield was a tight end. Wiley, who's playing for the Titans right now, was big-time pass catchers for them. So tons of opportunities for him to get busy up there in Wisconsin. And I mean, he's a super athletic tight end. So maybe you can flex him out, play some slot, get him lined up against linebackers and safeties and stuff like that, because he has the speed of a wide receiver. So yeah, that's a very good look for him. And I mean, we talked about this, like the relationship. Okay, the relationship is still there with Coach Fickell and that coaching staff that he had with UC. They decided to go to Wisconsin. He decided to go to LSU. Things didn't work out for him down at LSU. That relationship is still there with Coach Fickell. He's going to Wisconsin. Go Badgers until they play the Buckeyes.
Yeah, and that's and for him too, like, because that's what he originally committed to was Fickell, obviously. So that's why when you talked about Marshall's coach doing that, you don't know when your paths recross later. You just don't know that. What's wild too about Cam Fancher being the quarterback over at Marshall? They had Chase. What was it? Chase Harrison? Is that his name? He was the quarterback. That was another GWAT quarterback. He played at Centerville.
Really?
And apparently, I guess just recently, on December 11th, Chase Harrison also entered the transfer portal. But two GWAT quarterbacks were on the roster over at Marshall.
Portal is jumping.
But Chase, I remember as a freshman, there was a lot of chatter about him. I remember that Ohio State never offered him, but he was on their radar for a very brief moment. But yeah, Chase, I forgot about that. We're talking about Marshall and we're talking about players. I'm like, I think there was another local player there, and it was Chase Harrison. I remember we called his games as far as that's concerned. But yeah, played at Centerville. Speaking of Centerville,
oh boy,
Reggie Powers, last night I saw on his Twitter account that he tweeted him and Coach Venables from Oklahoma. Apparently Coach Venables was in town at home visit on top of that. So, but Reggie, another one, he was looking at Ohio State for a bit, obviously. Where did he
committed to Michigan State.
And then obviously with that, unfortunately, everything that happened there, with the coaching changes and all that stuff, reopened up his recruitment and then ended up at Oklahoma and Venables in Dayton, Ohio last night, just making a little home visit, but good for them. But yeah, that's pretty cool seeing that. What you're seeing now too is a lot of coaches going back and they're just buttoning up guys that have already committed.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a, whatever you want to call that. But I thought that was
making sure everything's good.
Yeah. Because Ryan Day, you have Aaron Nolan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where he was just a week ago. He could be out trying to get new players to come, transfer portal. No, he was there making sure, hey, you've committed. We're good. We're on the straight. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Let's go continue adding to this roster. But pretty cool seeing Reggie Powers having a home visit last night with Coach Venables.
Yeah, man. Super cool. I mean, think about it, man. Like, just on a personal level, to know somebody their entire life and like see them talk about like they want to, play college ball and eventually make it to the NFL. Somebody tell you that when they're 4 years old, and like we're basically less than a week away from that actually happening, because signing day is next Wednesday. So he's going to be signing that national letter of intent, man. And, just to talk to him and see the excitement in his face. And not only that, his parents' face, his little brother's face, like it's a super cool moment for him, man. He worked very hard for this opportunity.
National Signing Day is when?
Wednesday, the 20th.
That needs to stop. This whole thing's a mess. I feel bad for the quarterback at Texas.
Malik
Murphy.
Yeah, Malik Murphy. Yeah.
I didn't mean to sidestep that.
No, you good, because I got thoughts about it too.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back. So Malik Murphy, by the way, is responsible for Texas being in the playoff.
Correct.
When Quinn Ewers went out injured for a few games, it wasn't Arch Manning that stepped in. It was this individual. This individual won all the games in the absence of their starting quarterback, and now will not be able to play or to even be on the field with his team come playoff time because of the wonky transfer portal rules. So
imagine that, a backup quarterback stepping up and helping his team win.
It happened,
it happened.
But did they look as good? Did they look as good?
They didn't when he was in there.
I'm gonna tell. I better cool it. I'm gonna tell Kirk Herbstreit on you.
Oh man,
he went from real aggressive to walking it back a bit, and then he was like, you know what? Screw
Scorch
y'all.
Scorch earth.
He just
went
like,
in.
Man, yeah. Florida State just reminded him how Buckeye fans used to treat them. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
But we'll be right back. But yeah, this isn't right. We hear all these players entering the transfer portal, but man, there's some Georgia players that entered.
Mm-hmm.
There's some Bama players that entered, and there's some key Texas players that just had to enter. And it's unfortunate. These kids should be excited. They put in all this work all season, should be looking forward to their playoff game. And instead, they have to make tough decisions for their future. But nonetheless, we're going to talk about that when we come back. Plus, Kevin and I will give you our top 5 NFL MVP candidates as we sit here with just a month to go in the season. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 36 months. Now through December 31st. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see our full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check us out online at ColumbusEquipment.com.
Our country is experiencing a maternal mental health crisis. Mental health conditions are the most common complication of pregnancy and childbirth, affecting 1 in 5 mothers every year. Hi, I'm Representative Lauren Matsumoto from Hawaii and Women in Government Board Chair. If you or a new mom in your life is not bonding with the baby or showing other symptoms of postpartum depression, time matters. Talk to a healthcare provider about the different treatment options that are available today. For more, visit womeningovernment.org.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure for max strength daytime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. DayQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks DayQuil High Blood Pressure. The daytime, non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
Did you know gas goes bad in as little as 30 days? Bad gas can cause rough starts, poor performance, or no starts at all. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Whether it's your car, truck, Boat, lawnmower, leaf blower, weed trimmer, ATV, motorcycle, or anything else with an engine, when you store, start with Stable.
Frickin' chicken chunks, frickin' chicken chunks, frickin' chicken chunks, frickin' chicken chunks.
When there's no time to make food for your holiday party, carry out 4 pounds of frickin' chicken chunks for only $34.99. Give the gift that always fits. A $25 Frickers gift card and get 5 frickin' bonus bucks free. Let them get what they really want.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because mulch. We're cutting prices on your favorite brands this holiday season. Save on Milwaukee, Ingersoll Rand, and Metaltech in-store or at northerntool.com.
Staples stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers, and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store.
How about this, Kev? There was a lot of talk of potential former Buckeyes quarterback Kyle McCord ending up at Nebraska, but according to On3, report came out, I believe, yesterday, that Ohio State transfer quarterback Kyle McCord is moving on from Nebraska. The former Buckeye signal caller will keep his transfer portal recruitment open. Now, again, you get the reporters or the writers that cover Nebraska football that Matt Rule, head coach over there, just wasn't feeling it and decided not to pursue Kyle McCord. Like, I don't know where he's going to end up. Does he end up in a Power 5?
Yes,
Power 5 school?
Absolutely. I think he's ultimately going to end up at Rutgers or Syracuse, one of those two. I mean, you can read between the lines in this situation. All the reporting that's been going on from On3 and from 11 Warriors into Bucknuts about the situation with Kyle McCord. The rumors about his dad being so heavily involved in this situation, I think it's doing Kyle McCord a disservice. From everything that's being talked about in the rumors, he didn't want to leave Ohio State. He was willing to fight it out for the starting position, but his father got involved with it and recommended that his son hit the transfer portal. Now his son is in the transfer portal looking for somewhere else to go. Let me tell Mr. McCord this. Wherever he goes, he won't be throwing to better wide receivers wherever he goes. Ohio State has the best receiving core in the country. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr., going to be a top 5 pick, Emeka Egbuka, and the list goes on and on and on. Unless you're going to end up at, I don't know, Alabama, LSU, I don't know, name one of those schools, you're not going to be thrown to a better wide receiver core, and you're not going to be as well coached as you would have been with Coach Day and all the receivers there. So you're going to end up at Rutgers. You're going to end up at Syracuse. You're going to end up some one of those places, because that would have been the good landing spot for him. Nebraska, possibly bringing Julian Fleming with him, person you have a rapport with and stuff like that. But now that relationship seems to be on the outs with Nebraska. So now you're going to find yourself in a situation where, like, oh, man, now I don't have as much talent around me. Oh, we're 6-7. That sound fun to you? Doesn't sound fun to me. 11-1 sounds a lot more fun than 7-6.
It's just like, I'm somebody that when I turned 18, I'd moved out right away, and I've been on my own ever since I was 18. So, I just to have that over controlling of parents that they think they're doing the best for you and they end up just getting in the way is just annoying as hell. Like, at a certain point, now it's easier for me because I was in a position where I had to kind of go out on my own, and that's okay. But I also learned from a very, very young age to make decisions for myself. I didn't always make the right ones, but I made them for myself. But I'll never look back and say, man, I wish I wouldn't have listened to my parents. I wish I would have just done what I felt was right and not what they felt was right. And I'm not downgrading parents or anything like that, but that's messed up.
Yeah.
Like, and by the way, if we're going to sit here and rip guys like the Ball family, and we're going to get on to dads like that, and we're going to get on to Dion with, look, his kid's so cocky because look at how his dad is and he feeds that, blah, blah. We got to call out this stuff when it happens, whether it's, when you add the racial implications in there or not. I don't know really why, but why McCord's dad doesn't get bashed more is beyond me, because that's a messed up situation. Because it's not Kyle McCord that made ultimately he did make that decision, but letting the dad make that decision ultimately or pushing him in that direction to me is wrong. And it's like, my gosh, I just can't believe being in that situation where you're an adult. I mean, you've been at Ohio State for a while. You're an adult.
Yeah.
These aren't kids. You're not a freshman and your dad made you do that move. You've been at Ohio State for 3 years. You're 21, about to be 22. You're about to graduate. You're a man. Like, you got to make that decision on your own. So he has no one to blame but himself. But I just, he's going to look back and can't believe, he's going to be like, I love my parents, but I can't believe I let them make that decision for me. That's just wild to me.
Let me ask you this. If Kyle McCord, if you're Coach Day and Kyle McCord calls you like, Coach, I made a mistake. I want to come back. Would you let him back?
I think they'd let him back, but I think the situation, it might be, he's coming back, but I don't think anything's promised to him. Look, I think this all started because Ryan Day said, I can't promise you.
Right.
Ryan Day was 1,000,000% in the right for that.
Yeah.
He wasn't good enough to say you're for sure a guy next year, but he wasn't bad enough to get rid of either.
Right.
But that was his decision. Who knows what's going to happen?
I hope that Kyle McCord does that. I hope he realizes that Ohio State provides him the best opportunity to win football games and to excel and become a better quarterback. I don't think that Rutgers is going to do that for you. I don't think Syracuse is going to do that for you. I think going back to a system you already know, going back to a situation you already know, a head coach that already knows you and you know them, provides you the best opportunity. And so what if coach is saying it's an open competition? You beat those guys out before. You now have 12 starts underneath your belt. So you got that leg up again. Go beat them out again and go prove everybody wrong. Use that as motivation to say, look, man, I don't care what coach said. Devin Brown, Aaron Nolan, whoever is on the bench. I know y'all was 5 stars just like me. Well, guess what? I was a starting quarterback last year. I'm about to be the starting quarterback this year. And guess what? This year, we're going to beat that team up north. Like, use that. I hope Kyle McCord comes to his senses and really calls Coach Day and say, you know what? Nah, I don't want to leave. I want to come back if you guys accept me.
And I can't think of an example of that. I mean, the closest thing, Wright State, Tanner Holden, and it's not the same situation. Tanner, great season at Wright State 2 years ago, led them to their first ever NCAA tournament win in program history.
We were there.
Averaging 20 plus a game, all that. He goes to Ohio State, doesn't work out there. He ultimately comes back to Wright State. And I can't think of a scenario out there. I'm not saying an example doesn't exist, but that's one of the few occasions. I mean, I remember hearing national media talk about the fact that, that's rare where you see a guy who's left, entered the portal and left a team, ultimately go back to that same team later on. We've seen, it's not common, but this would be a situation where it would be in his best interest. Even being the backup at Ohio State is still better than being the starter at Rutgers. I mean, I know that sounds silly, but at the same time, you never know what's going to happen. The bottom line is, I don't think the Buckeye quarterback room is good enough for him to just assume he doesn't have a chance. Or maybe that's a good sign. Maybe that's him telling us, okay, Devin Brown's better. Maybe Keen Holes is better. Maybe Aaron Nolan, no one coming in as a freshman might be better. I don't know, but I'm with you. I think it's unlikely, but it's an interesting point, Kev. If I'm him, you should have had the confidence in the first place to have welcomed the competition. But to be fair, I think Kyle McCord and his family probably thought what we did. I thought for sure that message was delivered with the mindset of we're bringing a quarterback in. Like, and if you're bringing a Cam Fancher, sorry, maybe a Cam Fancher. No, I meant Cam Ward. If you're talking about Cam Ward, if you're talking about like any of the, okay, I could see if you're Kyle McCord, you're like, oh crap, they're bringing in Cam Ward. Yeah, right. Deuces, I'm out. But that's not the case. Look, so we're going to talk about this guy next, Malik Murphy, the quarterback from Texas. Okay, yeah. He enters the portal. We'll get to that talking point in a second. But Malik Murphy, a mobile quarterback, a super athletic quarterback, which Ryan Day has had tons of success with. A guy that could pass the ball, he can extend plays, make plays with his leg. Kyle McCord was just a solid passer, but wasn't great, and he definitely couldn't extend plays. He wasn't very athletic. That's why the offense just looked boring this year, because it's not what we've become accustomed to watch, as Buckeye quarterbacks. Now, again, it's not about making plays with your legs. CJ Stroud He loved reminding people, hey, I'm not a running back. You want to pick up yards on the ground. We got great running backs in this room I'll hand the ball off to. But, he had the ability to extend plays as we saw against Georgia in that game last year. But I see another big-time quarterback in the portal that has all these teams around him on these on-3 reports, and Ohio State's not one of them. Ohio State is refusing to even talk to these guys. I am baffled by that. I don't get it. I know you want to be loyal to the guys in your room, but I'm telling you right now, loyalty ultimately bit Urban Meyer in the ass, and loyalty could ultimately bite Ryan Day in the ass at the same time, because I'm not a fan of every quarterback that's popped up has not had Ohio State even mentioned once. Like, they haven't even talked to Cam Ward. They haven't even talked to these dudes. The Malik Murphy comes out today. Georgia, USC, Syracuse, Baylor, Oregon State, Duke, and I think I missed one, South Carolina. No Ohio State. I shouldn't let that bother me, but it's like every time a graphic is put up of a quarterback that's in the transfer portal, a high-level quarterback, Ohio State's not a part of it. I know you want to be Ohio State's not good enough right now to not even be at least kicking the tires on these dudes. And maybe they are, but, I mean, why do you stop then? If you are kicking the tires on it, why aren't you pursuing these guys? I don't think they're good enough to just roll into next season when you got USC, UCLA, you got, Oregon and Washington coming in. And Oregon's bringing in one of the best quarterbacks in the country in Dylan Gabriel. So, to me, Ohio State, you're not good enough to do this whole we're the smartest team in the room type of thing. I think it's wrong that they're not in on these quarterbacks. I just do.
I feel you. For especially the 1-year starters like Cam Ward or Leonard Riley or DJU, like guys that are going to be here for one season and gone the next. On Malik Murphy's case, I would not go after him because, like we talked about, signing day is next Wednesday. So say Ohio State is in on him. What stops Aaron Nolan from saying, before he puts pen to paper saying, you know what, Malik Murphy's going there. Guess what? I'm not going there. So-and-so school, who is going to be my number 2 choice, I'm coming to y'all because I'm not about to battle it out with the guys that are already in the room and then have another guy in the room as well that is only a year ahead of us. So wait, like the one senior ahead of us, fine. He'll be here 1 year. He'll be out of here. We'll all battle it out and make the best man win. He's coming in. He has multiple years to start. I'm not going to wait multiple years to even have an opportunity. So the 1-year guys, absolutely, Ohio State should have been on all those guys, at least.
Cam Ward's
kicking
one,
it.
right?
Yeah, Cam Ward's one. DJU's one. Leonard Riley's a 1-year guy. So that's the only thing for me. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I would like to see Ohio State at least talk to these guys to see where their heads are. But I mean, the reports are they didn't talk to Cam Ward. Cam Ward visited Miami and he's visiting Florida State. DJU was visiting Florida State and Miami. It just seems like certain teams are only going after these guys. And I'm just curious why Ohio State isn't, especially for the 1-year rental guys.
Is it, we got to wonder, is it NIL? These head coaches in college football are almost having to sit down and act as general managers. Well, if we have this NIL money available and we have to give the biggest chunk of that to get a 1-year quarterback, or we can use that same money, that chunk, to go get 2 or 3 offensive linemen or to go get 2 or 3 secondary guys. Maybe they're trying to make those types of decisions or whatever. The other decision, and again, not really conspiracy theories, but just throwing out ideas here. Could it be it's NIL money to bring Marvin Harrison back for 1 more year or lose Marvin Harrison and bring a quarterback in? What benefits Ohio State more? Marvin Harrison coming back with one of the quarterbacks already on your roster, or bringing in a 1-year rental at quarterback like DJ Uiagalelei, Cam Ward, guys like that, with Marvin Harrison going to the NFL? Which one benefits Ohio State
Offensive
more?
line.
Yes.
Offensive line.
All the above.
Offensive line. Look, man, I love Marv, and Marv's going to be great. Marv's been great for us, but like all these rumors about 1 year for $25 million for him to come back. He had the NFL's Rookie of the Year throwing him passes last year. We didn't beat that team up north, nor win a national championship. He just had a average quarterback throwing him passes this past year. We didn't beat that team up north. We didn't win a national championship. Like, he's great, but like, he's done all he could do. Let him go ahead and go to the NFL, take that said $25 million, and let's find some offensive linemen.
Well, On3 came out and said that number, they don't know where that report came from.
Right.
That is completely false.
And that's why, I mean.
And stop trying to force him out. If he wants to stay, Kev, let him stay. What the hell's wrong with you? Only Kevin Nash should say, Marvin Harrison, I'm going to look out for you. No offense, but I don't really care what happens after you leave there. Come here. Come play. I mean, I care about what you do because we need to claim your success as ours. But if you fail, then we're going to sit you over there with Tate Martell. I mean, come on. No. But no, again, I'm just trying to mentally figure out what the heck's going on here because I one of two things. I like that Ohio State is not letting the recent struggles force them to act out of character. And out of character means panicking and making brash moves. Like, okay, we're going to get a quick quarterback. We're going to go get this guy. They are sticking to we're Ohio State. We got good guys in this line. But we as fans, imagine if your team in the NFL, the Steelers, or my team, the Browns, are most likely all of our teams, all of our listeners our team will lose their final game of the season, right?
Yeah.
And if when our team loses their final game of the season, we're not going to head into the offseason. And if our team doesn't make one move in the offseason, we will not feel good about it. Unfortunately, that vibe has now come over to college football. It used to be the season ended. You knew what was on your roster. You took a look at National Signing Day, who was coming in, knowing that most of those guys wouldn't matter that next year anyways. And you already knew what to expect for next year's team before this season even ended, right? Now it's completely different. Now we're like, all right, we lost. What are you going to do, Ryan Day? We lost because we're soft up front. What are we going to do, Ryan Day? And that's the problem so they may stick to their guns and be confident, but they're going to make the fans like me sit back and be like, what are we doing? We're not doing anything. We're just sitting back and we're going to suck next year too because you won't make any change. And we didn't suck. That's the thing. We're spoiled. That's what it's a good problem to have, I guess, at the end of the day. Last thing, because we only have a couple more minutes in the hour number 2. So Malik Murphy's available.
Yeah.
He enters the transfer portal from Texas. Malik Murphy is responsible for the Longhorns being in the playoff right now. Great team, great season. Their starting quarterback goes out. Malik Murphy steps in. Again, it was the timing, I guess, because, their backup quarterback came in, won all their games that he's supposed to. So Texas takes care of business with Malik Murphy. They're not in the playoffs right now without him. And he had to enter the transfer portal because it does sound like Quinn Ewers is coming back. Arch Manning is not. It sounds like he's not. He has not yet. He's not entering the transfer portal. He's not going anywhere. Okay. So that means that Malik Murphy, he's going to be a backup. And let's be clear, if Arch Manning lives up to what he's supposed to, Arch is going to be the backup and you're going to be the third string quarterback. Malik Murphy had no choice but to enter the transfer portal because they don't play for another couple of weeks. And by the time those couple of weeks are up, everyone's NIL funds will be washed up for the next season. There'll be no more starting spots at legitimate programs that need it. So Malik Murphy's he had no choice. I think that this is wrong. I hate everything about the way this is all set up right now. There were so many changes that happened early that the football schedule doesn't line up well and friendly with the, remember these are schools, education, the education calendar doesn't line up with the athletic calendar. The academic calendar doesn't line up with the athletic calendar. And that's the problem that we're running into as far as this is concerned. National Signing Day, there just needs to be one in the spring. Remember how big it used to be in December? This was we used to have special programming here for this.
Yeah.
But now it's so watered down now because it's sprinkled between both that no one really cares anymore. In the portal and all this, there should be one National Signing Day in the spring. And I don't think the portal should open up until the day after the national championship. I have no clue why. That'd be like free agency starting the second that the wild card round of the playoffs in the NFL starts. So you have all these teams in the wild card that would love to be making changes, but they got to focus on this game and all the good free agents are being taken up or, whatever. Or there's players on those wild card teams that are like, I'm a backup. I can go start over here. Guys, I'm out. Enjoy the playoffs. It's been a fun year, but I got to go take advantage of this. This is wrong. This is messed up. I feel bad for guys like Malik Murphy because he should be enjoying this playoff run with Texas, and instead he's having to cut ties with them and go join a new team.
Can't even say anything else that you haven't said. What I'll say is, what if, knock on wood, Quinn Ewers gets hurt? He's the backup quarterback. He's the backup. He's the guy that they will call to go into the game.
Yep.
And now it puts Texas at a disadvantage. And not only that, you talk about some of the guys that are on Alabama's roster, some guys that are on the Michigan roster, Washington roster. There's backups out there that played reps. It wasn't just, freshmen like, man, I played 2 snaps all season. I'm out of here. No, it's guys that got live reps and guys that may impact plays on those teams that have decided to hit the transfer portal because of the windows that occur with, the school schedule, because you have to be enrolled at another school before X amount of date and everything like that. So obviously you're not only giving up your opportunity to win the national championship and to play for the national championship to continue playing college football, but shoot, what if that team needs you? That team is going to need these. I mean, forget that, like somebody getting hurt. Like, hey, man, if you're in the too deep on the defensive line, like, all right, man, say the starting dude normally plays, I don't know, 40 snaps and you play 20 snaps. Oh, we're going to go from the starter dude playing 50 snaps to the third string dude playing those extra snaps. The third string dude ain't as good as the first team dude, obviously, and he's not as good as the second team. So it's going to affect the games. It's affecting the players making these tough decisions that they have to make for themselves. And it ruins the opportunity for them. Like, all right, man, sorry, dude. Got to pack up my dorm and I'm headed out of here. Y'all have fun at the national championship game. Send me a ring if we win.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, again, Malik Murphy, the guy that just entered the portal from Texas, if I still have it. Yeah. So the schools that, so Georgia, South Carolina, USC, Syracuse, Baylor, Oregon State, and Duke have all indicated interest in the Texas quarterback Malik Murphy. Now, these are not the schools that he's narrowed it down to, but these are the schools that have expressed interest in him. Where he ends up, who knows? But as you know, USC, the thing that's interesting about USC, every quarterback that's entered the portal, high-level quarterback, USC's right there every single time as far as that's concerned. Even Georgia.
Yeah.
Even Georgia's name is right there. So we'll see what ends up happening as far as that's concerned. Tomorrow's show, we'll give you our MVP picks. Again, I'm glad we spent a lot of time on this today. Glad we got to talk about some of the local kids too. Shout out to Cam Fancher, Jackson McGowan, Reggie Powers, and there's so many other great names, in the high school ranks that are either going to enter their freshman year or they're having some fun with this transfer portal stuff as well. I like the portal, Kev. I'm not going to lie. I thought I would hate it, but this stuff's fun to talk about. This is like free agency is what it ultimately is. It's not a hot take. That's exactly what this is. But nonetheless, it is intriguing as far as that's concerned. My thing is this. It's like, you know how I get on, like everyone got on the Bengals. How many straight years do they have a bad offensive line? Right? That's why I'm annoyed with Ryan Day and the Buckeyes. Like, they should not have a bad offensive line next year. Like, this isn't old school rules where you're at the mercy of your recruiting classes.
Right.
You can improve right away. Look at what Deion's doing. Now, to be fair, everyone that's given Deion over the top credit for getting the new offensive line. Okay, you got new players on the offensive line, but are they good? Are you good? It doesn't mean that you're going to have a good offensive line next year.
Right.
But at least Colorado fans can't sit back and say, man, our O-line was bad this year. I hope it's better next year. Oh, they haven't done anything. Well, Ohio State, do something, because you may not be going out and being aggressive with the quarterbacks, but my gosh, you don't have a lot of deficiencies, but the deficiencies are why you haven't been winning at the level you're supposed to the last couple of years. Tired of seeing them be weak up front. A little tougher this year, but still not where they need to be. We'll see. What ends up happening. All right, wrestling fans, by the way, coming up at 6 o'clock, an hour from now, it will be Card Subject to Change with Benjamin Chimera and Big Kev. It's an hour-long wrestling program that we provide for you each and every week. It is a live show. Benjamin Chimera lives here in Dayton. He works with us here at WING. Big Kev he's just a radio vet, man. He's like Kev. He's been, he's on Wing. He's on Hot. He does it all across all the stations. But it's an enjoyable program. Benjamin Chimera, he's trained and worked with the likes of Roman Reigns, with Dean Ambrose, which is John Moxley now, Seth Rollins. I mean, he's done it all. He knows LA Knight, like all the big names that are in wrestling, he's worked with or has crossed paths with at some point. And so he has the background nonetheless, as far as that's concerned. But hour number 3 coming up next. Is it time for a holiday party yet?
Let's get it on.
We'll be right back. Hour 3 next.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.
This holiday season, visit Boot Barn for top quality gifts that pay tribute to the lasting heritage of the West. From handcrafted cowboy boots and American-made felt hats to hand-stitched leather jackets, our in-store experts will help guide you as you shop, assisting with boot fitting and providing complimentary hat shaping. This holiday, share a piece of the American spirit. Boot Barn. Unwrap the West.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides 24/7 compassionate support and connection to trained counselors. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. The Lifeline works. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, just call, text, or chat 988.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Looking for sweet heat that's hard to beat? Head to Lee's Famous Recipe